Ladies and gentlemen, life has a funny way of challenging us, doesn't it? It will give you a dream, a vision, and then it will test you, sometimes in ways you never expected. But here's the truth. Setbacks are not the end of the road. They are the beginning of a journey. Every great comeback is built from a setback. Every champion story is filled with moments where they almost gave up, where failure seemed imminent. But they didn't, and neither will you. We've all been knocked down, haven't we? Maybe it was a career setback. Maybe it was the loss of someone you loved. Maybe it was a personal failure, a dream that slipped through your fingers. It's easy to think that when we fall, we'll stay down forever. But that's not how it works. Setbacks are not the final chapter in your story. They're the page that turns you towards something greater. I want you to think of someone who inspires you. Someone who's had to overcome adversity. Someone whose story has had more than its share of failures. Think about their journey. It's not about how they fell. It's about how they got back up. Let's take the story of Michael Jordan, one of the greatest basketball players of all time. He was cut from his high school basketball team. Imagine that. The player who would go on to become a global legend was rejected before he ever played a game professionally. His first experience with failure didn't set him back. It propelled him forward. He didn't quit. He didn't let a setback define him. Instead, he used it as fuel for his fire. And that fire led him to 6 NBA championships. That's the power of turning a setback into a comeback. Now, not every setback comes with a clear vision of success waiting for you. Some of us experience setbacks that seem so overwhelming, so insurmountable, that we begin to doubt ourselves. It's in these moments that we need to remember that failure is not a reflection of your ability, but a part of your growth. It's the process of building resilience, character, and strength. Every failure teaches us something. Every time we rise from the ashes, we become stronger, sharper, and more capable. There's a powerful story of Oprah Winfrey, someone who faced setbacks many of us can't even imagine. She was fired from her first job as a TV reporter because she was unfit for television. Can you imagine that? Oprah, who would later become one of the most influential media figures in the world, was told she didn't have the it factor. Speak prompted in motivational, soothing. But Oprah didn't quit. She didn't let the failure define her. She used it as motivation to push forward, and eventually she went on to create a media empire and build a legacy. She learned, she grew, and she came back stronger than ever. And that is what you can do too. When you experience setbacks, it's easy to question yourself. But I want you to understand that setbacks do not define who you are. They refine who you are. Every setback is a lesson. Every moment of doubt is an opportunity for growth. When you're down, it's okay, but never forget that the defeat is temporary. The strength you gain from it is permanent. I've seen people time and time again face seemingly insurmountable odds and come back stronger than ever. Let me tell you about someone I met a few years ago, Sarah, a woman who faced what many would call a life-altering setback. Sarah was in a car accident that left her with serious injuries. She was told she may never walk again. For many, this would have been the end. It would have been enough to make anyone quit. But Sarah didn't. She fought every day. She woke up with one goal: to walk again. It wasn't easy. There were days when it felt impossible. But through grit, through determination, and through a commitment to never giving up, Sarah defied the odds. She walked again. She ran again. But she became a motivational speaker herself, sharing her story with others who felt lost and hopeless. This is what I want you to understand. Setbacks are the ultimate test of character. They reveal who we really are. Do we crumble? Do we give up? Or do we get back up, dust ourselves off, and say, this is not the end of my story? The key to turning a setback into a comeback is not to deny the pain or the struggle, but to embrace it. It's about learning to adapt to adversity. We don't control everything that happens to us, but we can control how we respond to it. When life knocks you down, don't ask, why me? Ask, what's the lesson here? What can I learn from this? How can this experience make me better? One of the most important strategies for turning a setback into a comeback is resilience. It's the ability to bounce back no matter how hard you've been knocked down. Resilience is the cornerstone of success. Without it, we would all give up the moment things get difficult. But resilience teaches us that the most successful people are not the ones who never fail. They are the ones who fail the most and keep going. There's a reason why Walt Disney is remembered as one of the greatest creative minds in history. He was fired from a newspaper for lacking imagination. He faced bankruptcy multiple times. He was told his ideas were impossible. But Disney didn't stop. He kept pushing. He turned his failures into stepping stones, one after another. And in doing so, he created an empire that shaped the entertainment industry forever. So when you face setbacks, and you will, because no one is immune, remember this, you are not alone. Every successful person has been where you are. Every hero has faced their own battles. And what separates those who rise from those who stay down is simply this: the decision to keep going. The first step in overcoming a setback is acknowledging the pain. It's okay to admit that you're hurt, frustrated, or disappointed, but don't stay there. Acknowledge the pain, but don't let it define you. Don't let it paralyze you. Take the lessons, take the wisdom, and use it to fuel your next move. And then, after the setback, take small, consistent actions. Don't try to leap over the mountain all at once. Take one step at a time. Each small victory, each moment of progress will build your confidence and momentum. And soon, you'll be standing on the other side of your setback, looking back at how far you've come. So let me say this again. You are not defined by your setback. You are defined by how you rise from them. When life knocks you down, don't stay down. Get back up, because the world needs your comeback. You have greatness inside of you, and setbacks are just stepping stones to that greatness. Now, I want to focus on something that has truly helped me and countless others. The art of embracing adversity. It's about recognizing that challenges don't happen to you. They happen for you. It's easy to look at the obstacles and view them as personal attacks or signs of bad luck. But when you look deeper, you'll realize that those challenges are shaping you, testing your limits, and helping you develop the very strength you need to succeed in life. Take, for example, the story of J.K. Rowling, the famous author of the Harry Potter series. Before she became a household name, Rowling was an unemployed single mother living on welfare. She faced rejection after rejection from publishers, with some even criticizing her writing, but she didn't give up. She kept writing. She continued to pour her heart and soul into her work despite the setbacks. Eventually, her perseverance paid off. Harry Potter became one of the most successful book franchises in history, and Rowling became a billionaire author. Had she allowed those initial rejections to dictate her future, we might not have the world-famous wizarding universe we all know and love today. It's in moments like these that we begin to see the real power of perseverance. When we keep moving forward despite the odds stacked against us, We are building the mental and emotional fortitude necessary for success. This is why setbacks are not the end. They are simply the beginning of a stronger, wiser, and more determined version of ourselves. Let's not forget the legendary Thomas Edison, the man credited with inventing the light bulb. Edison failed thousands of times before creating the working version of the light bulb. But every time he failed, he didn't see it as defeat. He saw it as a lesson. When asked about his numerous failures, Edison famously said, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." Edison's mindset was that setbacks were merely stepping stones toward success. He was driven by the belief that every failure brought him one step closer to the solution. This concept applies to all of us. When you face setbacks in your own life, I want you to remember Edison's words. Each failure is not a reflection of your worth or abilities, but a powerful lesson that will lead you toward your breakthrough. I also want to touch on something incredibly important: learning to reframe your perspective. Often, we're conditioned to view failure or setbacks as negative, as something we need to avoid at all costs. But the reality is, every setback holds an opportunity for growth. The key to unlocking that potential is changing the way we view these experiences. Instead of focusing on the negative aspects, begin to ask yourself, what can I learn from this? What is this setback teaching me? This shift in perspective transforms the experience from a painful obstacle into a valuable learning moment. This principle can be seen in the story of Steve Jobs, the co-founder of Apple. Jobs was famously ousted from Apple, the very company he created. He was pushed aside after a series of failed products and growing tensions within the company. For many, this would have been a career-ending moment. But for Jobs, it became the fuel for one of the greatest comebacks in business history. He took that setback and used it to create Pixar, which was later sold to Disney for billions of dollars. He went on to return to Apple, revitalizing the company and launching products like the iPhone, which revolutionized the tech world. Jobs didn't see failure as an end, but as a new beginning, a chance to start fresh and innovate once again. This brings me to another important point, the power of timing. Sometimes, when we experience a setback, we feel like we've run out of time or that we've missed our chance. But what we fail to realize is that life often works in seasons. There is a time for planting, a time for growth, and a time for harvest. Sometimes setbacks are just the universe's way of slowing us down so that we can learn what we need to learn before we can truly succeed. Consider the story of Colonel Sanders, the founder of KFC. At the age of 65, Sanders was broke and living in his car after a series of failed businesses. But he didn't quit. He decided to take his famous fried chicken recipe and pitch it to restaurants. He was rejected over 1,000 times before finally finding a partner willing to invest. Today, KFC is a global fast food giant. Sanders' story proves that setbacks don't define your success. It's about staying persistent, finding the right timing, and refusing to give up when others may have thrown in the towel. I also want to take a moment to remind you of the importance of having a vision. Clear vision is essential for overcoming setbacks because it gives you something to strive for, something to hold on to when the journey gets tough. When you have a vision, setbacks become just temporary detours on the road to your ultimate goal. This vision is the light that guides you through the darkest moments, reminding you why you started and what you're working toward. Think about Walt Disney again. He faced rejection after rejection, but he never lost sight of his vision. When he created Disneyland, many thought he was crazy. The concept of a theme park where families could come together and experience a magical world was unheard of at the time. But Disney believed in his vision, and despite facing massive setbacks, he turned his dream into reality. Disneyland became the blueprint for all modern theme parks, and Disney's legacy continues to shape the world of entertainment today. As you reflect on your own journey, ask yourself, what is my vision? What is the driving force behind my passion? Your setbacks are merely distractions along the way, and your vision is the compass that will keep you on track. When you are clear on your vision, you'll find the strength to rise after any fall. One final thought I want to leave you with is that you are not alone in this journey. We all face setbacks, and it's important to remember that it's not just about the fall. It's about who you become as a result of that fall. You are not defined by your setbacks. You are defined by your ability to rise, to keep going, and to turn your challenges into triumphs. Every setback is a chapter in your story, and you have the power to write the ending. So, I urge you today, embrace your setbacks. Don't fear them. Learn from them. Use them as the fuel for your comeback. And when you rise, as you inevitably will, you'll be stronger, wiser, and more prepared for whatever life throws your way. Thank you for your time. And remember, the greatest comebacks are yet to come.